What's up, Autonomics? Happy Sunday, the end of week 3 of the Autonomy 30-Day Habit Adoption Challenge. And here we are, finally at the end of the adoption stage. Hope you're doing well. If you're new here, always a reminder, go check out the start video at the start of this 30 days so you can get all the concepts that lead up to this point, and then you'll know exactly what we're talking about. So make sure you do that and check it out. Now, let's talk new concepts. So, quick update from my end. Have not yet started my habit execution for the final day of adoption here. I have a logistical conflict that's keeping me at home. However, that does cover something important here, which is that's a context change, right? Normally, I'd try to get my workout done essentially the first thing I do in the day, right? I'll take care of Leo and then I'll go and start my workout, throw the gym shoes on as the bracketing task, start the workout in my head, and then I'm on the way to the gym before I'm thinking too much about it. And this time I can't, right? This time I had to be home, and I still have to be home until basically this logistical event happens that will allow me to leave, and then I can go work out. The interesting thing about that is that I feel this need to go, right? I keep thinking about the gym automatically. It's happening on its own. I'm like, oh, well, I'll be doing something else. I was doing meal prep earlier. And the thought of the gym comes up like, oh, when am I going to go? So that suggests automaticity. That's a very, very good sign. And if your executions have been going correctly, at this point, you should start to feel some of this. Now, maybe you're not lining up in some precise way, and that's okay. Again, shout out to my Aunt Bobby, my star student. She doesn't really get an easy read of a scale of 1 to 10 habit friction. For her, it's just she either feels like it or she doesn't. And that's fine too. You can still track that data even if it's binary, right? So it's just about finding a way to track your own data in a way that works for you, that's reflective of how you feel and how you work, and then using that. But you should start to feel this almost default setting where you want to do it. And if that can change, if that remains through different times of day, through different settings, then you are establishing context independence, which means your habit is actually getting very strong. And that's what you're looking for. So, the new concept today has to do with the fact that up to this point, we've been using this technique to really adopt the habit, right? To make sure that the habit is imprinted in our minds. And, starting that bracketing task, to get us moving into the habit, the mental traffic signals turn to green. We do the middle part of the habit fairly easily, and then we color it subjectively positively with the ending bracketing task, right? 1 second, sorry. There we go. So that is that we've been deliberately imprinting a positive habit. We've been deliberately starting the execution and then flowing through the habit and then coloring it subjectively and positively. And we've been doing that to try to imprint this habit, right? We get a bunch of episodic memories and then they, get colored positively. And if you can hear the upset child in the background, I apologize, but such is life. That's okay. So that said, now we're going into the testing phase. And the testing phase is literally, instead of deliberately using these bracketing tasks to, forcefully cognitively execute the start of a habit, and then cognitively, subjectively coloring the habit positively. Now we're just going to let it fly. We're going to live our lives and just see what it's like in terms of, is there, without, using the starting bracketing task, do we just feel like going to the gym in my case, right? So there's no necessarily deliberate thing. You can also test its context dependence by saying, tomorrow I'm just going to try going in the afternoon and see if it's easier, or see if it's the same, or see if it's more difficult. And it's literally testing the automaticity, the habit friction and the context dependence of the habits without any cognitive deliberate execution, right? It's just seeing how it is, seeing if it's sort of in that automatic section of our brains where this thing is just happening on its own. We're thinking about it on its own. So that's what the testing phase is. It's literally taking, in our case, I believe it's 9 days, right? That's the consequence of doing a 30-day challenge and around a weekly system. But we'll have 9 instances starting tomorrow of just living our lives and then seeing if those habits have stuck, and then sort of measuring that level of stuckness, right? That level of persistence. Ideally, the automaticity starts to serve itself, and now the engine's running, right? Now we're just always going. And that's when you really solidify a habit. That's how you do it. If it doesn't work, that's okay. It's not because we have or haven't failed or anything like that. All it's saying is, okay, we use the techniques that leverage our brain to actually execute and imprint positive experiences of this habit, right? And then if it's not where we want it to be, we can repeat this process. It's just, okay, you just do it again. Or you can say, okay, well, we are at, the end of the testing phase, and this is how it went. And this is the percentage of times that I did it when I wanted to, right? In my case, there should be, let me switch over so you can see this. In my case, there should be 4 weeks of daily habit adoptions, right? And then there's 6 out of the 7 days a week are actual days that I should be doing it. So Thursday is my rest day. And I won't say like, oh, I didn't do the habit that day because, well, I wasn't supposed to. So you're just going to get a percentage of the number of times that you are supposed to do something based on your own plan, and then the number of times that you did it. And at the end of the testing phase, I will tell you the percentage, let's call it the passing grade, if you will. And again, that's not success or failure. It's just, would you consider your habit to be automatic, to have gained automaticity for that habit, right? So in my case, I think I missed 1 day in week 2, and I'm looking at my habit friction, and it's nice and low, right? And it's steady, and we'll continue to monitor that through the testing phase. So if all of this goes well, or is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, get the workouts in. Thursday, I'm off. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, those workouts get in too. Then I'll have a high percentage of completion. I'll only have missed, let's see, that's, I'll have gone, I think it's 25 out of 26 days that I was supposed to go. So that's a really high percentage. We'll see how that plays out. And there's also something, be honest with yourself and true to your own experience in this testing phase. So, it's not a matter of, I have to get my habit adoptions in so I have a high percentage. That's actually not automaticity. That's having an outside factor influence your likelihood of going. And if you're going to do that, then you're actually taking more of a adoption phase approach, which is you're using something to start you into the habit. This should just be on its own. So it's about getting a very honest assessment for yourself about where the state of your brain is around your habit. You want to test it's on its own, and you want to see how strong it is just if you had never heard of this tool, right? Because maybe the habit's already there. There's several habits that we already had going into this. Some of them are bad habits, right? So so it's just having this very objective assessment of how strong the habit is. And we're using these 9 days of the testing section to do that, right? So don't chase the score with your habit executions is what I'm saying, right? That's what you want to see where this is on its own. So that's what I'll be doing. I can already tell, right? Today I've had this context change where I have to stay here, and I have this urge to go. It's like this recurring thought that's like, I've got to, okay, I can't wait for this event to wrap up so I can go to the gym. It's like, oh, cool. When I started this, I might not have wanted to do a workout at all, left to my own devices. So that's how we know that it's taken hold. So step into tomorrow with the objective of almost scientifically testing your habit adoption to see how sticky that habit is in your head. And don't chase the score. Don't do it because you need X's in the testing section. That's the opposite of what the testing section is meant to do. And that will show you exactly how far along you've come down this path to habit adoption, whatever that habit might be for you. If that was piano practice, then if you're feeling like you need to piano practice when you're not even thinking about piano practice or doing any bracketing tasks around it, then you know that you've established some level of automaticity and now you have the habit in place. And that's the whole idea. So jump into it with that. Be very objective. You want as true results as possible as the assessment goes. And at the end of that, here, what the last thing we'll do on day 30, I'll reveal the percentage that you could say it could be considered automaticity, right? Because if it's 100%, yes, okay. But that's not necessarily to say that it has to be 100% for you to say, oh, now it must be 100% for it to be automatic. No. But anyway, we'll get there. But that's all we've got to do. That essentially means that these last few days are just going to be me catching up from my end, showing you how things are going, sharing my thoughts on it. So by all means, come and check that out, see how you're doing, and then you can see things from my perspective as well and compare your own results to that and use that as, just another benchmark, another indicator of how your habit adoption is going, right? There's no success or failure except the success that comes from just engaging this process. So again, well done. I hope your weekend's going well. As always, thank you to all my subscribers out there. Love you to death. I couldn't do this without you. And I know you're out there and doing this. I'm getting some feedback that some of these things are working. And I'm so happy to hear that. So that's really great. That said, just wrap up your weekend well and get the rest you need. And let's take on Monday as strong as we can. I hope you're having a good one. Have a great week and all those other nice things to say. Talk to you soon, everyone. Take care.